Welcome back to Shop Binge Builds. Here today we are going over the power switch for the windows. As you can see, it is located right here in the general area of where the handy crank is. I wanted to get rid of the handy crank, so we're doing power windows from new Relic. The great installation so far. Doing a little extra planning because I'm routing cables a little bit differently, so I'm extending cables and stuff. They use 14 gauge wire, so that's what I'm using. But there was questions about this, so this is what I'm going over with you today. The power window switch itself is pretty self-explanatory. It is a GM style switch, and support this here. It has the assembly here, and so the original hole, center hole, was about here to here as a circle. So I just took the template from this, laid it out on the front side, cut the hole, and then I started working around to figure out where I needed to be. Well, it was just a little bit bigger than what I need, or a little smaller, so I just made it bigger, and here we are. This is actually held in with a small bead of butyl tape. Just fills in the gap a little bit better on the back side, so, or on the front face. And this goes in, and the plate goes on the top, and I have just some nylon tubing that's in here to compress as it's pulling everything tight on the front side, and I'll show you the front side here directly. And that just goes on the ends here, and it brings everything tight to the back. Reason being is these are designed for the door cards, the fiber cards. That you just pop them into that and then make the hole. But I'm putting them on the steel here, so that's how I'm doing this with the vinyl tubing or plastic tubing, whatever it may be. And that gives us the shim out that we need. It'll look nice on the inside. And stand this up so you can see now. Here's a little bit of a height difference, but this is pushed in pretty darn tight, so that's a win for me, and that'll be good. So that's the front driver's side. Front passenger side, well, we're going to use the same hole, so we're going to use the existing hole. How am I going to cut a hole inside of a hole? There's actually a couple of different ways you could do it. Now, if I had this 1-inch diameter hole saw, I could slide it in there as a pilot. It'll thread right on there. There's enough room on it. I've done it before. And actually, pause a minute here and I'll show you. So like I said, you can put this in, if you have the right size, which is 1 inch, I don't have it. So if you had the right size, you can do this, a stacked hole. Use this as the pilot and this to cut through. The height difference will make that guide nicely. But since I don't have it, well, if you don't have one, they're kind of nice if you're doing some fun stuff. What I recommend is getting a more modern unit that has this throw down pin system, opposed to the one that has the set screws and the nut. And the cheaper models just aren't going to do what you need it to do. So invest the money now instead of having to invest in it later to buy another door panel because you jack stuff up. Just experience. So we'll thread that down through. I got to put a little more height on that drill bit. And, you know, I'll get a T in here to figure out where center is. And, you know, it'll drill down into the wood, and then it'll start cutting in the steel and cut it all the way through. So that'll be done. So there's 2 down. Now the rear doors. Rear doors are kind of different. Oh. Because the rear doors, the crank is on the back. That is a electrical box plug. It's a knockout plug. So I'm just going to paint that. I'm going to scuff that up and paint that and put that in permanently. I just did that as a test. I like what it is and where it is. So if you look at this door, it looks kind of funny. The front half is gone. Yep. And If you do not know this, the window cranks are at the back. They're going to be at the back seat, back side of the seat. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to put it up here in the front. So I also forgot to mention this is the single gang plug, or a single gang switch. What the switch is, again, it's just a rocker. So we're going to do the same thing as we did on the driver's side. We got to find a hole saw big enough. Big enough, there's a little bit of room from there. And we're going to set it where I want to put it. And we're going to drill it and lock it into place. Now it's going to be a little bit lower than the fronts. And that is, excuse me, I got some indigestion here going on, some burpees. Reason why that is, the rear door hinge assembly is, it comes up almost flat, or it is just under flat, and then it tapers down and back. If you notice, that's where the hinges are. Way in, way out. Don't know why, but that's just the way they are. Well, probably for clearance and the way the whole cab is designed. But I'm going to put the hinge, or put the switch about this height. So it's going to be down a little bit. It's not going to be cumbersome and in the back. Then I can run my wiring down through here, bring it up, and away we go. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. So I should have all the door panels and stuff done tomorrow. The wiring should be pretty much done tomorrow as far as the power windows, and then I'll do a test on them and make sure they all work. Up and down, up and down. Hopefully. Hopefully the doors will be done in their entirety by the end of the weekend. So again, just to recap, this is what I did for these switches and what I'm doing for these switches to make everything work the way I need it to. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful night. And, you know, wish I was down there at the F100 show with all the fellow Ford people, but I'm still working on a Ford. Hope you all have a great night. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.